To get things underway, we're going to have a look at a piece of music. It's titled The First Suite in E Flat by Gustav Holst, arranged by Michael Sweeney. Love this. Two movements. We've got the chaconne and we've got the march. It's graded 2, and it's something which is a little older in the repertoire lists of today, and we hope you enjoy this. Here we go. First Suite in E Flat. Outstanding. Here we go, into the march. March. One. What I love about this, at a grade 2 level, of course I'm sure you'd agree with me, is it actually retains all of the musical ideas that from Holst's original suite. Originally written for 21 musicians, but the musical ideas have been well represented for younger musicians or less experienced musicians, and there's a great value in that. Hope you enjoyed that. I think it's absolutely terrific. Another great writer, Randall Standridge, Gadget. In fact, quick show of hands as band directors, many band directors in the room, who's come across the music of Randall Standridge with their, of course, primary school bands, of course, with young high school bands, community bands as well. What I like about this piece of music is that, of course, in fact, with all of Standridge's writing, there's a strong element of rhythmic interest, and that captures a lot of young players. I also like the writing for the full percussion section as well, and I'm sure that that's something which is going to become quite prominent in all of the pieces this evening. For the home viewer, throughout the course of the next couple of hours, you'll probably hear from many of the members in the ensemble. You'll also hear a little bit of a voiceover from myself as well, with a few things that I think hopefully may help in the selection of some of this music, checking that out with your ensembles. Here it is, Gadget, Randall Standridge. Features the ratchet solo. Always important. Here we go. Here's one of those effects again. Yeah. Good. Bravo, well done, excellent. A couple of things I like about that piece of music, there is so much colour that comes out. Hopefully you would agree, there's lots of dots and dashes, staccatos, accents, dynamic contour, a lot of energy in the piece of music, but not everything is loud. And so that way we're actually providing a platform for younger musicians or lesser experienced musicians to really explore all those things, the interest in music. So I think he's a terrific writer. Next up on the agenda, I believe we have Calibre, Eric Morales, all about the inner workings of a clock. So, of course, as all of us experience the music today, and also from the home viewers, if you're listening out for percussion sections, okay, I made mention a couple of pieces ago, always looking for music that explores all the colour that is available for percussion sections. Many people in band programs find that we attract a lot of students, a lot of younger students that have been playing a lot of drum kit a lot of the time, and trying to get those players off just the drum kit and explore all the other colours. You know, wonderful quad toms. It could just be the rims of the snare drum, our mallets, and the range of colours that from auxiliary percussion as well. Calibre's a great piece of music, and we hope that you enjoy this hidden gem in the repertoire. So here we go, Calibre. Thank you. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. Good. What Morales is able to do here, introduce the idea of contrast, unity, dynamic, and also the melodic line getting passed from section to section. Good opportunity for bands to concentrate and consolidate their work in blending sounds, horns and saxes. Younger bands often have the trap of as soon as things get softer, things get slower. So really good exercise in exploring that with younger bands. Question and answer. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question. Good. Good. block sounds, block sounds, and 1. Well done, well done. Quick question out to you, the players, preferably from someone who has never experienced the music from this composer. If this was the first time you've played music of this composer, can I just ask that you raise your hand for a tick? Just your nod, yeah, good. Till a couple of years ago, I hadn't heard anything from this particular composer, and I found the music to be very, very exciting. What's our impressions, Danny?
I felt there was a lot of drama in the piece without it being too difficult for the player.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to make it sound good and make it sound even harder than it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. I found that it was a very mature work because we could actually look at the concept of something, the inner workings of the clock. And just, of course, you hear all those little ostinato figures which incorporate, of course, all the work that we're doing in the curriculum and so forth. And everyone can have a small, intimate role, but being part of a bigger picture as well, which, of course, brings a level of maturity in the work as well. Anyone else like to offer something of that piece? Did we like it? Yeah, good. Fantastic. Excellent. Hope you enjoyed it as the home viewer and you're enjoying the music as well. Synergies. Robert Sheldon. Raise your hand if you know the music of Robert Sheldon. One of the most popular composers of our time for young bands, between grade 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. There's lots of music by Robert Sheldon. Synergies, I believe, is something which, because it was copyright 2008, and because he's one of the writers of our time, we tend to forget about the music that was written maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's not in the latest catalogue, and because it's not in the latest catalogue, sometimes there's some great music that's could be forgotten about. So Robert Sheldon, you see his name in all the catalogues at the moment. Check out some of the music that he's written some 5, 6, 7, 8 years earlier, and you might be surprised as well. Synergies is a great piece of music. I find young players love this. I know my own school, the boys thoroughly enjoyed playing it this morning. So here we go, Synergies. With energy, please. And 1, 2. Well done. Quick show of hands. Who enjoyed that piece of music? What do you think would appeal to young players? I want to ask two questions. What would appeal to young players in school programs in that piece of music? Gary, you've got lots of bands.
Lots of variety in the articulations and
Yeah.
accents, etc. And although it's repetitive, there's lots of elements to it, so
Yeah.
it's not boring.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Something else to offer for this particular piece of music? I think the irregularity of the melodic line really captures the interest. And it's a difficult piece of music for young players to sight read, but it captures their attention and they want to then go away and practice. And of course, we all know in this day and age, trying to teach young players to practice is always the most demanding challenge that we have. And if you get them hook, line and sinker with something which really captures their interest and, of course, their motivation, then we're halfway there. So, wonderful piece of music. 2008, I think a great writer, worth checking out. Talking of great writers, Frank Tacali, Amen. If we can pull this one up now, please. Here we go. This one's on the cusp of a 2.5/ a 3. Different times in different journals, it's marked as a grade 2 or a 3 work. So somewhere in that mid ground for developing bands. Here we go. I'll breathe. 1, 2, 1. Lovely. Beautiful, beautiful chordal writing there in the middle, exploring the softer, more intimate ideas of scoring. So you can hear Frank Tikelly's maturity of writing in there, really attainable for lesser experienced bands. Tremendous work. Don't see that too often. Anyone amongst us familiar with this particular work? Just looking at our wonderful participants on the right-hand side, wonderful, very experienced band directors here on my right, and hopefully that piece of music generates a bit of interest for us all, because we don't see that too often. Great piece of music. All right, let's keep things moving. Let's go back to a classic, The Lost Lady Found. We wish that every single wind band in the country at every level could pull out Lincolnshire Posy, but unfortunately we just can't. We know this, but doesn't mean that the music, and of course the references to Percy Grainger as probably Australia's most foremost writer for wind bands in this genre, can't be experienced by lesser experienced musicians. This particular arrangement, once again by Michael Sweeney, is very clever in terms of the way he doubles particular parts. So if, by chance you only have one trombone in your band, you've got quite a few saxophones, you might have one trumpet, you've got a few balance problems, it's still quite attainable through the clever scoring of this particular work to have this piece in your programmable material for your bands and of course make musical results with those challenges. We hope you enjoy it. Here we go. And thanks so much for the home viewer out there in the live stream. We really appreciate your support. We are having a ball, and this wonderful band in front of us are sight reading, or just about sight reading. So I want to give these guys a huge round of applause, as you do back home. Here we go, from the top. Keeping with Grainger's traditional idea, the first bar is, of course, is written out as a complete bar, and we've got the downbeat into bar 2. So I'll give you 2 bars into bar 2. Here we go, clarinets and first altos. 1, good. Now nice and light here, and light, good, and boom. Cross rhythms remain. Lovely stuff. Cross rhythms remain. We've got all the colour from the original, once again made very, very attainable for developing bands. I like this work for community bands, of course, with very, very large ranges of ages. Adults are getting as much enjoyment out of this as, of course, the younger players in our community bands. So, terrific material. I believe the next piece of music is Last Ride of the Pony Express. Okay. Here we go. Yes, Last Ride of the Pony Express. David Schaefer. Piece of music. I believe this was, for those who may remember some years ago, I think it was the Junior C grade test piece of the National Championship in 2009 here in Sydney. I haven't really seen this piece of music pop up from too many ensembles really since that particular time. Quite a few copies sold around there, and maybe there's a few copies of this piece of music tucked away in people's library, maybe in yours back there at home. So, listen out for the chimes. Exhibit A chimes are featured, so of course you've got that one instrumentalist who has never had the chance to play the snare drum, and you're thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do with that particular person? And you give them the chimes. Dylan here is on the chimes, and he is outstanding. But we know what we're talking about. We want to always add equity for our percussion sections. The good part about the chimes here, it isn't just one mallet, it is two. So, chime players feel particularly special with this, and it's very exposed. And of course, their parents are very happy paying the band fees for the next 12 months as well. Here we go. We hope you enjoy Last Ride of the Pony Express. A great concert opener and a major work that's approximately 3 minutes 45 seconds. So here we go. Excellent for presentation days. 3. Young players, watch. If I'm a clarinetist or a horn player in that piece of music, there are some lovely lines, okay, just getting that blend of sound. And I think that is a really nice feature of this work. It's also nice in this particular composition from David Schaefer just to explore the colour of the bass winds as opposed to the bass winds together with the bass brass as well. And so we'll get some real variety in the textural changes. So that's a nice piece of music. All right, very, very exciting, ladies and gents, Tales of the Sea by Tim Ferrier. And if we can get the cameras over this way. For those of you watching at home, Tim is a living, breathing composer. In fact, he's here in the room right now, and we're very, very excited and delighted to have Tim with us today. And it's absolutely fantastic to have Tales of the Sea as part of our program for today. So thanks very much, Tim. In fact, let's pass straight over to Tim. Tim, would you like to say a little bit about your work? I'm popping you straight on the spot, but I guess you know a fair bit about it because you wrote it. So please, Tim.
It's got 4 contrasting sections, and it's great for young and inexperienced players because everyone gets the tune. And this is highlighted at a later section of the piece where there's 4 melodies all playing together, so everybody's playing the tune all at the same time. So it's great to work on balance with that, and they can all have fun playing the melody at the same time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We hope everybody here and everyone at home enjoys Tales of the Sea, please. Key signature and time. Okay, make sure we know the key before we find out that we've missed it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1 and 2. Did you catch that, home viewers? Fun. Congratulations, Tim. Fantastic. Home viewer, Tim Ferrier, Sydney composer. Wonderful. And he's alive. All right. Actually, there's something to be said for that. We all like meeting live composers, irrespective of age. You know, particularly when your composer is in your backyard. You know where I'm coming from. I'm talking to wonderful band directors here, wonderful band directors amongst us here. No matter what the age is of your ensemble, when you can actually introduce your band to the live composer of the piece of music that they're about to play or that they've just been working on, brings another element, and that's always a good thing to do. So, ladies and gents, everyone who buys music, if you can look up where the composer is from, and if they happen to be in the next suburb, shout them a cab charge and get them along to your rehearsal. Here we go, Spicescape. Now, what I like about this piece of music, if you have a look in the repertoire, in fact, that we're working through today, ladies and gents, there is music that sometimes sounds like something else. There isn't music here that is a rip-off of, say, Pirates of the Caribbean or, you know, a particular movie, and there's nothing wrong with Pirates of the Caribbean. It's great, and there's wonderful arrangements. But what is really good with the next stage of our development of bands and band directors is when we can find music that sounds like something, but it is original material. This piece of music, okay, let me just read something here. Secret codes, double agents, and covert operations converge in this riveting soundscape of adrenaline-fueled ostinato, stealth-like melodies, and dark, complex harmonies. Wow! That's pretty good stuff. So, I find that if we're doing program music as part of our curriculum, and we happen to have this piece of music and we can tie this into some program music, then chances are you get more people coming along to your next band rehearsal. Anyway, Spicescape, let's see how we go. Starts off with a solo xylophone. So once again, if you've got percussionists and they all want to be on the snare drum, give them the solo part to start with, being the xylophone, and parents will love you forever. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well done. Well done. Hope that evokes some interest. Wonderful writer. Here we go. Celtic Air and Dance. We'll just take a moment. Home viewers, might be a good chance for you to go and get a quick drink and come back to the screen, just as many of our ensemble players just freshen up. We're up to about piece number 10 of 20 in this evening's Good Music Guide Part 1. If you've just joined us, we are from ABODA, Australian Band and Orchestra Directors Association. My name is James Brice, and we have members from the North West Wind Ensemble, together with many teachers and future teachers from New South Wales joining us today, and I think these guys sound fantastic. All right, Celtic Air and Dance. Celtic Air and Dance, many of us would know there's Celtic Air and Dance 1, 2 and 3. Arranged by Michael Sweeney. Once again, this is a piece of music which, when we look at this, probably outside of the parameters of today, because it says it's grade 1. Ooh, tusk. Now, being grade 1, these grades, as we do know, anything between grade 1 through to about 2.5 can be a little bit subjective. And if we have a band, of course, which is playing a lot of grade 2, 2.5 music, don't turn your back on the music, which of course may be grade 1. There is lots of great stuff there. And when we have a more mature ensemble, and if your band's looking at grade 3 material, come back to something at grade 1, and it instills confidence and also allows a lot of the players in the band to perhaps approach the piece of music with even more leadership, sensitivity, and look for something well beyond the notes earlier than that for the music which they're already playing as when they're being stretched. So, Celtic Air and Dance. Once again, what I like about this, you probably can't see on the camera, but if you have reduced instrumentation, we only have about 10 lines here. I don't know, Hanny, if you can sort of zoom in there. The score is by no means as large as a few other scores. So, if you've got an ensemble and you've got 17 players in your ensemble, you've got 3 clarinets, you've got 1 French horn, you've got 2 trumpets, you wish you had a trombone, and you would like to have 15 euphoniums, but unfortunately, alas, your school doesn't own a euphonium, so you've got a keyboard bass. Okay, then this piece of music allows us to still experience the wonderful joy of this, provided that we have a mallet percussionist to play the bells in bar 4. Very, very important. So, here we go, Celtic Air and Dance. Lovely dynamic shape and synergy of sound. It's a nice way to get our band starting to play chorales. So here we go, very, very important. From the top. Suspended cymbal, once again, not a drum kit part, but a suspended cymbal. Every sound is so important. 2, 3. Hi! Well done. Just out of curiosity, how many people are quite familiar with this work? Band directors, yeah, from within the ranks of the band. Once again, a piece of music that, I don't know, in the last couple of years, I'm sure Scott may agree with me here, I haven't seen this piece of music come out as often as perhaps sort of, yeah, I think it's probably due to... Imagine if we were, putting on a concert music from around the world, in programs, community bands, always theming our concerts. It'd be a really handy piece of music, and of course, if you're working together with your dance and your drama departments, you can actually get your dancers and costumes and everything else happening as well. I know, just an idea. I'm sure the people in the home viewers are probably already ringing through to their fancy dress shop right now. All right. Hymn for a Child. I've mentioned the word chorales before. The very first piece of music we played was the chaconne from the first suite in E flat, and I didn't speak too much, just allowed the music to occur. Hymn for a Child, James Swearingen. Wonderful setting of Jesus Loves Me. And of course, we hear many experienced bands performing this particular work as well. And yeah, it features the wonderful work of our clarinet section, and of course the beautiful synergy of sound that can happen come from our wind bands. So here we go. Let's take it from the top. Hymn for a Child, please. And for all of you out there that are watching, has the most beautiful euphonium part. So we want to listen out here because it's fantastic. The nucleus of the wind orchestra. Here we go. Stir the pot, baby. Here we go. All right, 2, 3, and. Lovely work. And with great warmth, warm air, talking to our students all about warm air, really, really warm. And suspension 1 and 2 and 3. And 1 and 3 and 4 Fantastic. Once again, it keeps your chime players, parents, very, very happy because they get that special moment as well. All silliness to one side, the more we can include our players and make our players always feel special, we always like that. That's something that comes out in good music. There is responsibility of all the lines. David Holsinger, I believe, is next in our program. Mob Busters, once again, quite an older and much older piece of music in our collection for today. Very robust. What I like about this piece of music for developing ensembles, we've got triplets and of course our dotted rhythms. And it's a pet hate of all band directors, adjudicators, audiences, when those rhythms are not together. Now, this is a fun way to establish some unity within our ensembles, and of course the angular, melodic line as well creates once again a fair bit of interest. And generally speaking, younger players particularly like taking this piece of music home. I know that many of us have actually probably experienced or conducted this with our top-end primary school bands. It's also a piece of music which works really well for adult community bands and also secondary bands as well. Lots of musical value. So, David Holsinger, Mob Busters. The thing that we say to young bands is don't let volume be the only source of entertainment. Aggressively, but we can play aggressively at mezzo forte. Home viewers, we hope you enjoy this as much as we are going to enjoy playing it. Here we go. Mob Busters. And 3. fantastic. I look around the room once again, I see many experienced band directors. Can I ask our experienced band directors just so that the camera can pick up on this as well as everybody here, just raise your hand if you have worked on that particular piece of music with your bands. Yeah. Very good. We see. So once again, I just keep stressing, particularly for everyone who's watching, on the live stream, or perhaps watching this a couple of weeks later. When we pick music for our bands, it's very, very nice to go to the latest catalogue, but it's really nice to grab a name from somebody in the latest catalogue and follow their journey backwards. And retain those names of those composers for whom we like the music. And that's why today is called Composers in the Spotlight. It's about the composer, not necessarily the latest piece of music. Doesn't matter where we source that inspiration, but look either side of the last 10 years, because hopefully that's some good advice for all of us. New Orleans moment. This one's quite new, 2012. I was listening to this piece of music with my lovely wife in the car while travelling somewhere on a holiday. I can't quite remember where that was, but it was better than actually listening to 6 hours of euphonium CDs. But a New Orleans moment based on A Lonesome Road by David Bobrovitz. Of course, as soon as this came out, I only believe there was a couple of copies of this around, and played this with Year 7 Wind Band here at school. And what it actually allowed us to do right from the start was just start to develop a band sound when we had so many boys coming from so many different programs seated together in their first 5 weeks of being together. And the most important thing, as we all know, because we're sitting here because we love wind bands, and for everyone who's conducting their own wind bands, sound is the most important thing. You've got to establish your band sound, bring the very best individual and collective sound out of our bands. And hopefully this piece of music explores chamber music within the large ensemble once again. So we hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoy playing it and hope you enjoy listening to it. Maybe check this piece of music out and some of his other writings as well. Don't hear as much of this fellow as perhaps a few other composers. Here we go. Starts off with a solo floor tom. Once again, it's not a drum kit, but it's a floor tom together with the bass drum on individual parts. I think that's really important too. 2, 3, and. 2, 3. Now, if you picked up on that, there's solo lines on the second flute part there. Okay, the second flute part's far more important than the first. Sorry, first. Go 1, 2, 3, Come on, you know you want to. Yeah! Lovely. That also gets the parents clapping in the audience as well, which is great. All right, next piece of music, Viper. We'll jump into this. We're doing pretty well for time for our musicians here in front of us and also for the home viewer. Viper. This piece of music, very atmospheric opening. And of course, I don't know if anyone remembers that TV show Jag. Okay, this does sound very American, but it is a good chance to recruit for such professions as the Air Force, perhaps, maybe. So we hope that you enjoy this. Teaching a bunch of boys, when I've used this in a boys' school, this has had great appeal. And they all wanted to research the latest fighter pilots and all that sort of stuff. So, once again, lots of rhythmic integrity and good melodic lines. And for the bass end instruments, there's lots of melodic and rhythmic interest in this piece of music. We hope you enjoy it. It's grade 2.5. Jay Beaucook, often renowned for his arrangements and as well as his compositions. And this is one of his compositions titled Viper. Here we go. Bass clarinet features prominently in the opening. We'll zoom the camera into the bass clarinets. Here we go. 2, 3. Three, Very good. Anyone come across that work before? Yeah? Great. Very good. Very good. Okay, we now turn to an absolute classic at this particular level, at the grade 2 level, Michael Sweeney, Where the Sun Breaks Through the Mist. I think this is another integral piece of the wind band literature for developing bands. Once again, this piece of music, the musical value in this appeals to all ages, young and quite senior. I've heard many adult community bands perform this particular work all around the country, and I've also heard very, very young bands get as much enjoyment and, of course, start to develop their musicality and warmth of sound in this particular work. Piece that probably needs very, very little introduction, Where the Sun Breaks Through the Mist, an absolute classic that should appear in every person's band library. There's my stamp right there. Okay, Michael Sweeney, you can pay us later. Here we go, from the top. But no, it's classic stuff, it's really good. From the top. With a beautiful clarinet section such as this. Hanny, if you could please zoom in to our wonderful clarinet section. This is a clarinet section to die for, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful clarinet section. Here we go. So here we go, featuring our wonderful clarinets from the top. And rapidly with anticipation. So we're quite excited. It's feeling like the pulse. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Half time, majestically into half time. Let's try that again. Here we go. Here we go. We just want to hear the clarinet. Hanny, into the clarinet. Here we go. Bar 9, half time. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Well done. Well done. Piece of music which, of course, for younger or less experienced bands, wonderful major work. Of course, having a fantastic introduction, the contrasting sections, the lovely lyrical section in the middle as well, piece of great magnitude. I'm just going to put the air on for a moment. Which is probably an excellent chance to talk about this next piece of music, Whirlwind. Jody Blackshaw, I hope you're actually watching us here. Thanks so much for your support, and it's great to have your piece of music, Whirlwind, as part of our Good Music Guide Part 1 for today. I'm going to take a couple of moments, Jody. I'm sure you're watching. Just to explain a couple of things for people who have not experienced Whirlwind. Percussion section, first and foremost, if we get the cameras around to have a look at these wonderful collection of instruments that are coming out at this point in time. Whirlies. Okay, so many of our players are experiencing this piece of music as you are the home viewers as well. We have got an atmospheric section here to start with. We've got lots of different shakers. I've popped shakers around the place. If we have some keys, ladies and gentlemen, if we have something that rattles, I'd like that to be your rattle for today. For our ensembles, cassette tapes. Nobody listens to them anymore, and they make great rattles, and Jody talks about that in this piece of music here. We have got the first section. Okay. So our home viewers can listen in and start to conceptualize this piece of music, and we're also doing a bit of preparation at the same time as well. 40 seconds in an opening atmospheric section here. Then, of course, we get to feature everybody on their score has got this wonderful melody. And what's really exciting here, of course, is that it starts to incorporate free time and expression for our players. We know this because we're looking at it. But when we're introducing this to our bands, everybody can explore that in their own way. And then, of course, we find that we ask a particular soloist for a concert. Would you like to be our soloist for today? And that means that you can get a multitude of performances of this work. When you've been learning this work as part of your program, you can get a lot of mileage. And that's something that Jody talks about here. So thank you, Jody. So, of course, we're going to have that section here and everyone can be following along, and that's great oral perception. Let us see our soundscape. We're going to have groups, and I'm going to invite each group to play together as a group. We're going to have a group of clarinets. So we probably will have our first 2 rows of clarinets. I'll invite you to join in. And then I'm going to ask our saxophones. This is through the section here at C. Saxes, I'll cue you. As these people have started, I'll cue you, I'll cue our flutes, I'll cue our French horns, and then I'm going to cue our back line. So it doesn't actually include everybody just for today. The next main downbeat, of course, is going to be that section here at D. And we've got our glockenspiel ready for our wonderful harmony here. And when we get through those 5 cues, of course, we will be working through our section here at D. All these parts that we've already heard, ladies and gentlemen and members of the ensemble today, we get to include these now as part of a 2-part round here at E. So once again, great oral perception for our younger players. The 2-part round becomes our, of course, a 3-part and a 4-part round. We also have a percussion solo before, of course, coming into G as our 4-part round. We hope you enjoy this, and we hope that this, of course, we get here to the end, solo and an echo. For today, we're going to have a solo clarinet, followed then by a solo trumpet as our echo to complete the work before we come back with our soundscape. So players, does that make sense? Great. Hopefully our live audience that's watching us, thanks again for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoy Whirlwind. And once again, Jody, hope you enjoy our rendition of your fantastic work. Okay, soundscape to start off with, please. So the first sound will be that of whirlies, and then I'll just be cueing general directions for, of course, our rattles. Okay. And you don't just have to rattle as loud as you can. You can rattle a bit, and then you can go, don't want to rattle anymore. Want to rattle, don't want to rattle. Okay? So listen to the texture. It's not all about noise. Sometimes less is more. And they're the concepts that we're actually asking our musicians to think about. Choices and better choices. Okay, here we go. Let's experience whirlwind, please. Soundscape. Our whirlies. Here we go. And we're going to ask different whirlies to come in at different times. We're going to start with Damien. On the purple whirly, and... Here we go. He also does children's parties. Here we go. Ready, and... Two-part round. soundscape. Ready? And rattles. Well done. Excellent. Just a quick show of hands of, once again, our instrumentalists. Who has experienced this piece of music? Okay. And the beauty of this for our musicians, once again, at all levels, is every single performance is going to be different, and every performance we can feature different soloists, and there's a lot of great musical value in that. All right, hope you enjoyed that, Jodie, and thanks very much once again, the work of another Australian composer, and we love you, Jode, so fantastic. Great. Okay, ladies and gents, we're doing very well. We're up to our last 4 pieces for this evening before we get to food, but home viewer, you'll miss out on that. You've got plenty of food at home. So, Dance Carnivale. We've met this fellow before. His name is Randall Standrich. This piece of music is very, very exciting, and we hope that you enjoy it. Dance number 2, please. Okay. And watch like a hawk. Watch like a hawk. One. Ready, Inca. Da, da. Ready. Ready. Repeat. Ready. Ready. ABODA. Ready? Ready? Very good, very good. Once again, very handy for music around the world. Music around the world, and quite a contrast from Gadget. Same composer in the spotlight. Last couple of charts for this evening, ladies and gents. Jerusalem, coming back to another fantastic chorale, arranged by Andrew Glover. Once again, a fantastic piece of music for bands of all levels. Here we go. Jerusalem, please. Here we go. Jerusalem. Oh, 1, 2. Lovely. Now, ladies and gents, we're going to skip over a chart through the Sailor's Odyssey, if you'd be so kind. What we will do, particularly for the home viewer, and particularly for all of us here this evening, as part of our Composers in the Spotlight series, we hope that throughout the course of this evening, we've all had a chance to experience what I think, of course, is really, really good quality music. And of course, there's a lot more great quality music out there at a grade 2.5 level. But, of course, there is a wealth of music out there. And what determines good music? For me, hopefully throughout the course of this evening, and together with yourselves making wonderful sounds, Very, very fortunate. We've got a fantastic wind orchestra here, and I'm sure for the home viewer you would certainly agree. Good music always comes from good musical intent. Okay, from the individual sounds, great individual sounds working together with lines that have been well composed and well constructed within and between the sections, and of course with lovely phrasing, melodic interest, and making sure that the writing is particularly wholesome. Now, hopefully throughout the course of looking at this music with these composers in the spotlight, I ask that every single one of us, I'm really happy to share these ideas with all of us here today. In fact, it's been a real joy in sharing these ideas. And of course, the more we share as part of ABODA with these ideas, we're not in silos, ladies and gents. None of us should be in silos. There is great music out there. There are wonderful lists, and people have had the chance to experience great music with their band programs. Whether you're a player in a band program, whether you're an aspiring director, whether you're a very experienced director, whether you go off and go to various conferences and you hear and you are interested by the composition of one of our wonderful composers who happens to be, of course, on a worldwide spotlight sort of stage at this point in time. There's a lot of great music out there. One thing I think for developing bands is to make sure that it is the right sort of music which will then provide... You can't eat baked beans 3 times a day for 7 years. And I worry out there that there are a lot of programs that, of course, perhaps maybe baked beans are just a little too much of the norm. So there are opportunities to be looking at this, the wonderful, rich Grade 6 literature, such as Lincolnshire Posy, and we can make it accessible for community bands, for young bands, for developing bands. There's wonderful interest with the melodic interest and rhythmic interest from some of these more contemporary composers, where the music does sound like a soundtrack, or it does sound like, a soundscape, or, there's all those things. We don't have to play arrangements of music which we hear on the radio to experience good music. There's wonderful writers. What we should always do in this country, and we certainly hope, particularly for our friends in the country that may be watching this overseas, we've had a great time bringing some great music, and we hope that more people, more band directors, will share these experiences with their bands for the betterment of banding in this country and, of course, overseas as well. To finish off with, we're just going to finish off with, it's almost like a nice light march. It's titled A Sailor's Odyssey, based on The Drunken Sailor. And once again, this has been, copyright 2004. And I think it's really exciting to actually pull out something that perhaps, you never know. Next time we might pull out some yellow music. Okay, we all know what yellow music is. Very, very old. We hope you enjoy this, and thanks so much to the home viewer, and thanks, ladies and gents, for your time today. And we hope that you enjoy a Sailor's Odyssey based on The Drunken Sailor by David Bobrovitz. Here we go. And one. Great. Ladies and gents, just to close the official part of this evening's Good Music Guide, we started on time, we're finishing on time as well. Once again, I'd like to thank every single one of us for being part of today. We hope you've enjoyed this. I'd like to thank our participants, our viewing participants very much, wonderful, experienced conductors. I would like you to join with me now in thanking our technical crew who have been integral, absolutely integral, and instrumental, there we go, instrumental in bringing this evening to life for you, the home viewer. First and foremost, we have two of our camera people. If you could please join with me in congratulating Hani Rifai. And we've got Tom McKernan up here. Tom is a Year 8 student at the Knox Grammar School. Well done, Tom. I'm looking now for Tobias. And Tobias Ogle looks after and manages our tech crew here at the Knox Grammar School. He's the brainchild for our live streaming for this evening. A huge amount of work. Can we please put our hands together and congratulate and thanks Mr. Tobias Ogle. And finally, I'm sure you'll recognise this wonderful young man behind me. You may have seen the wonderful Mr. Bob Wheatley on many stages throughout not only New South Wales, Australia and overseas, but a wonderful, wonderful musician and probably the most extraordinary sound guy on the planet. Let's give it up for the wonderful and very beautiful Mr. Bob Wheatley. So ladies and gents, those of you back at home, we hope you've enjoyed today. We hope we've had a great time. And I'd just like to, at this point in time, I think I'm handing over to our president of ABODA, Dr. Luke Gilmore, to say a few words, please.
Thanks, James. It was a fantastic night. On behalf of ABODA, we just want to thank all the members of the North West Wind Ensemble, all volunteers who've given up your time and your rehearsal to help influence us. And it's a really valuable opportunity for us. The amount of students you've probably influenced tonight collectively, could easily be over 1,000 students with everyone in the room. So it's an amazing service that you've provided. So thank you very much on behalf of ABODA. I'd also like to thank James. James is one of the ABODA committee members, and for us, coming in as participants, I mean, Northwest, you probably see it every week, but for us coming in as participants and seeing it work so smoothly is only due to the hours that I know James has put in, again, as a volunteer, to making this easy for us. You don't get easy without lots of hard work behind the scenes. So, James, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much. Thank you. Plug from us is, James mentioned the conferences, valuable opportunity. We have, I think, one of the key music education conferences happening this year, particularly in our world as ensemble educators. ANBOC, the Australian National Band and Orchestra Conference. It hasn't been in Sydney for how long, Scott? 18 years. And Scott Ryan over there, who also works at the Conservatorium as the manager of orchestral programs, is leading the ANBOC subcommittee. And you may have seen via social media that Registrations are now live. A lot of work has gone in behind the scenes to create a truly amazing conference. And I don't recall a conference, in terms of being relevant to what we do as ensemble educators, having the amount of, I guess, key presenters from Australia and around the world. People like Rob Reynolds, Richard Saucedo, Eduardo Diaz-Munoz, Jeff Jarvis, John Lynch, Steve Williams, amongst others. There's a huge lineup. So grab one of these cards. Registrations are now live. It's very affordable. It's even cheaper if you're an ABODA member. There's the plug. But it is, you get more than you... How much cheaper is it, Scott?
Just over $120 cheaper if you're
Yeah, and the ABODA membership's only $80, so there you go. So there's our plug. That's about as hard sell as I'll do. We'll leave these out there, but again, can I thank everyone from the North West Wind Ensemble, the Knox Grammar crew, and again, a big special thanks to you, James. Thanks very much.
Thank you. All right. Now, ladies and gents, in terms of housekeeping items, just to finish off with, if I could ask of a couple of things. We have some wonderful refreshments, and hopefully we hope that everyone will hang around. It's great social interaction time, which is tremendous. That's what we're here to do. If we can get these folders, it would be best, once again, if you could please make sure that the music is in the order that it was presented. It will make my job a whole lot easier tomorrow, if that's okay. And if I may just have the folders in numerical order, I'll collect those here. Lastly, on your way out, we've got another gift for you, as well as the flyer for our wonderful upcoming conference. You get to take home what you experienced today. Okay, I thought that's the best souvenir that we could have from today. There's a list. And if you like the list, thank you. If you don't like the list, that's okay too. Okay, but if there's something there in terms of the spotlight in the series, for this evening, then that would be great. There's 80 copies here, so please do help yourselves. If I can collect those green folders first and foremost. Thank you for a wonderful evening. Excellent. Thank you.